also made a quilt as a gift to the city of Cambridge. We imagined what sustainability would look like.
He ruined it.
Michael.
Yes, we're on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome
Talk to them.
to the God Talk Guys. My name is Michael Mack. This is Michael Koran. And we love to talk about God and faith and religion and spirituality and drawing from faith traditions from all around the world and drawing from our own lives. And each week at this time, we are here to do just that. Michael is handing a little bit of technical, applying his vast technical expertise to a technical problem.
Yes.
And how are we doing?
We're on the way.
We're not there yet?
We're not there yet, but
we're here. We're not there, but we're here.
We're responding to you because you're the most important thing on the show.
And we are so glad that you're here with us now. Please don't change the channel. Please stay right here.
You're...
Please. We haven't actually tried that yet. Yes. Begging. Please stay here. Please don't go away. True. Pray to God and beg our neighbor. So, are we recording?
Maybe. Let's find out.
Let's try.
Hi there.
And welcome. Is it working?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Okay, so I wanted to talk.
So, just to set things up for our viewers, we're doing back-to-back tonight. So Michael's show is first, this one, Michael's show, and then mine will follow immediately afterwards. And so, Michael, you've got all kinds of things you want to talk about tonight, all kinds of things to share. Jump in. Give us the rundown.
One thing.
One thing. Okay.
So I've been struggling with a hoarse voice.
Uh-huh. I can hear that in your voice right now.
Yeah, and it's better now.
For months.
Since the middle of July.
And what happened in the middle of July?
My beloved lover, sweetheart, friend,
yes,
companion,
yep,
healer,
yes,
masseuse,
beautiful in so many ways,
hugger,
yes,
confidant, moved out.
Yes. And so your voice has never been the same since?
Nope.
Is there something maybe that you want to tell her that you haven't told her?
Lots.
A whole lot. Would it take 27 minutes to do it? Or would it take longer? Would it include my show also?
I don't even know what. I've decided not to speak to her about it directly.
Okay.
Maybe that's, I mean, I might tell her I'm sad and tell her I'm angry. I mean, we could practice sometime.
Now, let me just check in here.
Yeah.
So this happened in June, was it?
July.
July, okay. July to August, September, October, November, December. So 5 months.
Yes.
5 months.
Yep.
5 months, there's been something that you've been wanting to tell her.
Well, you've already jumped to that conclusion.
Okay, I did.
I'm not sure I want to tell her.
Okay.
But although saying this on
Something you
television,
could tell her, if you really wanted to.
let's see, I mean, there's lots of tears. Notice there's lots of tears rather than I am very sad.
I heard that.
Yes.
I heard that.
I am very sad.
Those tears are very far away from the speaker.
There are
Tears are.
And there are other things. There's anger.
Tears were made.
There's loneliness. Let's see. It's very tricky because I'm very glad in a big part of me that she's gone. I've learned somehow whatever happens between us becomes a great gift.
From one guy to another, I would love to hear what you're grateful that you shared together and what you're grateful that you're not sharing together anymore. Is it because you've got your space back or what?
Well, one question at a time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Which one do you want to answer? I've already forgotten all the list.
Two. So what were you most grateful for?
Okay.
I really feel, I mean, I love Michelle, and our love keeps growing.
Yeah.
I have a poem that...
And you see each other pretty regularly.
She seems to want to get in touch every day.
Every day?
Just about.
Phone call,
or
get
email,
together.
yes.
Yep.
So it's a little perplexing. as to what, maybe she's having second thoughts, maybe not. I don't even ask.
Yeah.
I have learned, so I loved, it was the first woman I've been with that it really felt enough in many ways. Certainly hugging.
Like what you had was enough.
Certainly the hugging and touching
Had the package.
was enough.
She had the package.
I just felt, oh my, I don't need or want, this hugging is so lovely. I had other challenges. I was blooming, you like the word blooming in this show.
Blooming.
There's another word that I'm substituting. Blooming is a substitute for another word.
Oh.
Would prefer that I wouldn't.
So rather than bleeping, blooming.
Or bleeping if you want. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was very depressed for the first 2 years that we were living together.
Yeah. Well, you had been living solo for a long time.
No,
Right?
3 years. I was been alone for 3 years
okay.
only. And then
Not that long.
And then I had, but I've always had very great trouble being close to someone. My dear youngest brother, who is not talking to anyone in the family, used to say of our father, our dear father, anyone who ever got close to Dad always ended up screaming. I'm not sure it's quite true, but I certainly was no expert on closeness. And it was just very, very hard. And so for the first 2 years, I was often depressed. And as you were talking about, a friend of mine just called me up and said, women are not so happy taking walks with men. This is what he discovered, anyway.
Huh.
He said, women really value face-to-face conversation, according to what he was saying.
And is this friend wise in the ways of women?
He's a wise man and has had one horrible relationship after another, and doesn't seem to know why.
I'm not sure if I agree with his sentiment. And I say that partly because the lovely lady that I've been seeing for the last couple of months, seems like that's all we do is take walks together.
Yes.
We joke that we're not creative enough to come up with any ideas for other things to do. We take a lot of walks.
That's very lovely. I love walking because somehow you don't have to keep the conversation going.
There's always something happening.
There's a tree around.
Yeah, something to look
There's
at.
a tree with an interesting leaf.
Right.
So you're not stuck.
Right.
It was very hard for me to look at someone I was close to. I would just have so much trouble being myself.
And is that because judgments would come up, or thoughts, feelings? Certainly, thoughts and feelings would come up.
I would lose myself. It was like I had enough trouble taking care of me.
Yeah.
And if we were talking about something intellectually, I could do that because I'm good at that, or teaching, or being helped. But to just be face to face, it was like I had enough trouble being with me.
Yeah.
And if you're there too, I have just one. I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
So it took.
The way that I relate to what you're saying is that in that kind of relationship, or in that kind of setting, where I'm really intimately close, face to face with somebody, with an intimate partner, that I don't really have much in the way of opinions. It's only later, when I use the bathroom, and I have a chance to really be myself again. I mean, okay, I don't want to make this all about me. We can make it all about me in my show.
Stay tuned if you want more.
So my point is...
You want to tell people...
Continue. Please continue. That's my point.
So, after about 2 years of this, I slowly... Because I wasn't going to leave. I had learned I had left too many relationships. And at this age, especially diagnosed with prostate cancer, and having this very nice person. I mean,
a loving and caring person, a helper, a professional helper.
I remember taking a walk with her in New Hampshire, down to the lake near where she lived, and holding her hand, which even that was challenging for me. And I held her hand and I said, "Oh my, I don't have to be afraid of this woman. She's not going to hit me or hurt me." That was so nice. I didn't realize there was this lurking in her, but at least in the day-to-day, she really likes being helpful. She is a nurse. She's a very good hospice nurse now. Finally, I helped her find a profession in nursing that she loves. So that was very nice. So I'm with this very kind, loving woman who I really can't be comfortable face to face without feeling depressed. As soon as she would walk in, I would be feeling good. Walk in the door, in 1/8 of a second, boom. And it took me about 2 years to discover that, as soon as I see another person I'm close with, my psyche immediately says, uh-oh, human being around, everybody on the alert, and I become Teacher Mike.
Your role.
Yes, I become, okay, let's see how I can manage to make this interaction work well, caring for the other person here. But it's not me. It's a reasonable or unreasonable facsimile.
Well, that makes so much sense to me because it seems like we, when we come into the world,
Keep
what's
talking.
happening over there?
I'm getting my lozenge. Keep
I
talking.
need to know.
Keep talking.
What's
I'm
happening?
getting a lozenge.
Okay, for your throat.
It doesn't mean I don't love what you're saying, and I'm
Okay.
not totally 100% fascinated.
I need to see the fascination.
Yes, I
The
know.
fascination is fuel to me.
Yes, I know. Here it is coming. Hold on. It's coming. 1, 2, 3. Fascination is here.
Okay. So what was my point? So we come into the world, we have no roles, we have no identities, we blank. We come into the world blank. And somewhere in our childhood or teen years, we start to develop these roles or these identities, I guess you could say. A number of different identities. And I think that if we are, that at a certain point we got to break out of them because they are false. They're false identities, especially as we age and especially as we gain in wisdom, hopefully, that these identities become baggage. And I know that there is a really powerful and profound point that I want to make, that this is all leading up
Yes,
to.
when we can get what happened. When I began to discover that, it only took 2 years because I'm brilliant. I live in Cambridge. 2 years. Oh my! I'm putting on that self.
Yeah.
And then
It's like putting on a tie.
Yes, but
putting
then-
on a tweedy
and
jacket.
unfortunately, underneath that person, underneath the jacket, is of course this very scared
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
But at least he's real.
Wearing a red T-shirt at that.
Yes. And so at least he's real. So then I started feeling more love. And as soon as that happened, this is my story, and I might not be sticking to it, but as soon as I started feeling better and feeling love between us, that's when she decided she wanted to leave. For whatever reason.
Is that what you want to tell her? Have you told her that?
Yes.
Okay.
It seems, I'm an expert at this. Someone like this, I'm an expert at when things started getting close and shaking me up so much, because love is, there's an old mantra, love brings up everything but love. All the stuff.
Where'd that mantra come from? Who said that?
Someone who discovered it, probably.
Okay.
You start opening up, as I was, and underneath those personalities, there's a loving child that you just brought into the show. But there's also that whole history of other things.
There's a whole bunch of personalities.
Yes,
in there,
and a whole history of what's been done to that
Yeah,
loving
yeah,
child.
yeah.
There's hate and all
Yeah.
kinds of things. And so, as I'm working through this, thank you, with my dear beloved, and more love starts to come through, perhaps, and this I don't know, she's like me, and when love is starting to happen, it shakes her up too much.
Now, you said just a moment ago that that's your story.
Yes.
So it sounds like, so have you ever asked her?
Yes.
You've asked her, and what did she say?
She is probably like me, because many women might have said something like that to me. This is a woman's mantra too. You're scared.
Just as I open up,
Yes, you're scared of being close.
you run away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she did it in no way spoke to her, because in her, what she shared with me is deep inside there's something that as soon as she thinks of leaving me, she starts feeling okay. And when she thinks of staying, it feels she's harming herself. Which is just, I'm getting instant karma or long-range karma. So that was exactly how I have been too. I don't know if this is true of her. I have shared this. But I share it without emotion. I don't with friends, I can do perhaps some kind. I don't do too much. I mean, I cry with. I have a wonderful friend I call, and we do some kind of counseling. She encourages me to cry, encourages me to shake, feel the fear, feel the anger. I mean, I haven't quite psychodramatized it all, which I could do, and just yell it, and it might be helpful to yell it and scream it to somebody.
So where we started with this whole conversation was about your voice.
Yes.
And it has subsequently migrated to this exposition of the relationship with your ex.
With my with my beloved friend, and we're getting along better than ever now. We're going to Quaker meeting New Year's Eve at 11.
Okay.
We went to your Catholic church for Mass, and I felt very moved with the Spirit.
Yeah, you left early.
You remember that?
I do remember.
Of course, she just had a job to take care of people who were dying.
Yeah.
That's no excuse as far as you're concerned. You were in a tight ship. Well, I could have let her go home alone in the cold night, right?
Well, you walked home too.
Yeah.
You could have gone. You could have driven.
Yes.
Okay, this is another show.
Wow, soon. Stay tuned.
But what's our point? Once again, we're faced with this question. The God Talk guys are faced with this question. What is the point of what we're talking about?
You were very good at focusing on, this was the background when my voice started leaving me.
Now, have you shared this? You've seen some allopathic physicians, some Western medicine physicians about this.
Yes, I've had a scope at them.
Yep, yep. So they looked at your throat, they looked at your vocal cords.
Yes.
They see no nodules.
No.
No vocal nodules.
Yeah, a vocal cords of an older man.
Yeah.
But that's...
And when you tell them that it's because
they're not interested.
They're not interested.
They're totally not interested.
So to get somebody to be interested, you have to go to a therapist or a non-traditional, a non-Western at least.
Or my friends who I do co-counseling with, or my therapist. I see once every 2 months. That's about all that we do.
And when did you become convinced, because you've been saying this ever since your voice started getting rough, you've been saying that this is the cause. When did you become convinced that it was the cause?
I don't know. If actually this could be I'm a good Byron Katie student. This is a story. There's other parts of the story that for me are wonderful, because this has been a gift to me. I'm learning to talk from my heart rather than from my head. That's a huge gift. Or even this kind of show where we had no official plans. And when we met for an hour, we were laughing more than we usually do. When we plan, we do all we can to bring the best to you. And we weren't doing that tonight.
Because we had nothing.
As you might have discovered. As you might be discovering right now. No, but instead of having a self that's going to have a good conversation with you and be loving and kind, who's underneath that? We might be talking, which we did, about the weather, or about others, or what we did talk about.
It is raining like crazy out there. Yes.
So to know that words could come not from my mind, but from my life, my body and life, and from my heart. So even though my voice is hoarse, all of my words are more heartful than they were. All of them. Because I've learned from singing exercises. You have to support your certainly when you're singing, but speaking even, support your words from your diaphragm.
Right.
So I really feel them coming out of
your heart.
Yes, and as well as into my mind, but way differently. And even learning. Even writing, or talking on the phone, or even writing and reading. I used to take words into my mind instead of really feeling that words are.
Well, I want to key into that word feeling, because feeling is where we all begin. We all begin our experience in the world feeling. When we come out of the womb, we are physically and emotionally feeling everything. We're feeling the light. We're feeling the cold. We're feeling this extreme expulsion out into this world, and the thinking and the conceptualizing only comes much later.
And for people like me, at least, where feelings are so difficult from the very beginning, being force-fed among other things, then it's very tempting to go into the mind. Almost, I need to. What's going on? Why is this so? And at least from a place where I'm not feeling it so strongly, to be able to begin to understand what is going on that's so disturbing.
Well, that's often what happens in the therapeutic process, right? Is that you and your therapist just sort of like take a look at some event or some series of events and step back and reframe it. Tell a story about it.
I don't do that in my therapy. Much of the new therapy, at least that I'm into, is even the co-counseling therapy, is not to leave those feelings, but to allow them to really talk and express themselves.
Okay. Is that CBT?
This is internal family systems,
okay.
IFS, but there's
Okay.
a lot. There's lots
Yeah.
of them. I mean,
IFS, CBT, what is that?
I don't know what CBT is, but
Cognitive behavioral therapy, and there's also
that's different. No, that's more like what you were
DBT,
saying.
dialectical.
You know, that's very different. This is internal family systems. Is we have a family of personalities
Yeah,
inside.
yeah.
Give them a chance to express themselves.
Well, that just bringing us back to the God Talk guys
Yes.
is what I experience in prayer. Is a place, a safe place, a sanctuary where everything that comes up, everything that I think, everything that I feel becomes part of the prayer. And so my raging self, my weeping self, my self-hating self, all of the different aspects of myself
A loving
come
self,
up.
a loving self too,
And loving self.
and serving self.
And loving and serving.
Love to serving self. Love to serve self.
It all comes up. And it's all part of the prayer, and it's all part of that which is offered up, period.
Yep.
Given away. Which I know you believe also. That we're just
No.
giving away.
No.
Yes, you love to.
No.
You love to use those words.
No, we work with it's us. We work with it. Be careful who you give yourself away to.
Oh, I understand.
Whoever they call themselves.
Yeah.
Especially if they call themselves a god.
I understand. I understand. So, 22 minutes into the show, 5 minutes remaining. Have we solved your problem yet?
I wasn't aiming to solve it, but I am.
But all things are possible on the God Talk,
Okay,
guys.
well, the heart of it is, as this is in my maybe imagination psyche, I feel there's a membrane, and by the way, I think the membrane, the vocal cords are they membranes?
They are membranes.
I feel there's a membrane surrounding them. It seems to me on top of them, like the self that I put on when someone close comes into the room. Uh-oh, everybody be on the alert. Harm or hurt could be here. Another human being. So I feel that is still around my diaphragm, my vocal cords, actually. For some reason it feels almost like, yes, that I've got that filter, because I've had it my whole life, where feelings couldn't just express themselves as a child might. I don't think I could do it so easily as a child either. Quickly learned, as some young children do, to get into their heads quickly. I was a con man at 5. I remember cheating my father in cards.
I can imagine an allopathic physician, a Western medicine trained physician, listening to all of this and saying, yes, yes,
They
yes,
wouldn't
that's
listen.
well and good.
They're not interested.
They're not listening.
They wouldn't even ask. But we have, thanks to Cambridge, we have all kinds of other healing
That's true.
possibilities.
True.
Yes. Co-counseling being one of them, but many others.
Co-counseling being where two people, typically two people, right?
Yep.
Get together and one, well, tell them.
One encourages the other. I don't do this too well yet, but to get in touch with all your feelings, and the word they use, not a favorite of mine, is discharge. So if I'm feeling fear,
I can understand why the word.
yes, I don't like that word at all. But if you have a lot of fear, which I do, underneath those protective personalities,
It's like the word emission.
yeah, I didn't know you wanted. Wow, Michael, for someone who was banning words on the show, you're pretty free. Anyway, so in co-counseling, they encourage you to feel your fear and shake it. only if you're doing, I don't do this well, I still like talking about it, but at least I'm with experts that somewhat encourage me to. Feel your fear, feel how it's shaking you. If you're shaking or yawning or coughing or sneezing or farting, am I allowed to say that? No? Oops. Or what is that called?
Fine.
What's that
Fine.
thing? What is it called, the medical terminology?
Flatulation.
If I'm flatulating?
Have we really reached this level? Have the God Talk guys reached this level of discourse?
That's important in co-counseling. That's when you're when you're discharging your feelings. If you're sweating, coughing, any of these involuntary actions can help you. Trembling is very good. If I can tremble, see, I can feel my fear, but if I can start trembling, then the stuff that's locked in my body can begin to come out.
Well, in Kundalini exercises, doesn't that kind of thing happen? Kundalini exercises where typically comes out of yogic tradition, I think.
Yep. You've
Where
got 30 seconds to wrap it up.
To say that when you get in touch with that true energetic self, then your body just goes bananas. I guess that's summing it up.
Wow. Yes, we have bananas.
Yes, we have no bananas.
No, yes, we have.
Today.
We've had them. Thank you for joining us.
World Music has been bringing some of the finest international and contemporary dance and music artists to Boston and Cambridge for over 23 years. We are a nonprofit member supported